Hello students, we are going to study today electrical properties of what solids. Okay, so here when we are talking about electrical properties, it means whether it can conduct electricity or it cannot conduct electricity. Okay, let us see. Actually, according to the electrical properties, this solid state is divided into three. Okay, conductor, semiconductor and insulator. Okay, let us study one by one. Coming to conductor, when I say conductor, it means what? It can conduct electricity. These are those which can conduct electricity, and their conductivity values are 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 7 ohm inverse 1 meter inverse 1. Okay. When we talk about this conductors, which type of solids can conduct the electricity? The metals, isn't it? Why I am saying metals? Because they have got free electrons in its outermost shell. You are studying from class 9 only, I think so. Okay. So metal, when I say this metal, yes, it can conduct the electricity, but in which form? In solid form when it is singly present. Okay. Like I can say any aluminum, copper. Okay. Now, second is in the molten state. I am saying molten state, when it is in molten state, like when it can conduct electricity, like molten state I am saying NaCl, in its solid state it can't conduct electricity, but yes, in molten state it can conduct electricity, because here its ions becomes free, Na plus Cl minus. Okay, electrolysis process. Okay, do you remember? In this manner it can conduct electricity in its molten state. Okay, so what is the characteristic property of the metal which allows it to be a conductor? It has got valence electrons which are free in nature. The more the number of valence electrons, the more the conductivity we can see. Like aluminum, copper, they are good conductors. Best conductor of electricity is what? Silver, isn't it? But due to what? It's expensive, so we are using what? Copper or aluminum. Okay. So now coming to the semiconductor. Okay. When I am saying semi and then I am saying conductor, it means it is not as efficient as conductors in conducting the electricity or conducting the charge. Okay. Its conductivity value is 10 to the power minus 6 to 10 to the power 4 ohm inverse 1 meter inverse 1. Okay. And when we are saying about semiconductor, it is of two types, intrinsic and extrinsic. Okay. When I am saying intrinsic, okay, they are not so efficient in conducting, but when I am saying extrinsic, okay, they are more efficient than intrinsic. Why? Because here it has been what? Doping has been done. As the result, what is this doping actually? Here some impurity has been added to that semiconductor. Semiconductors examples you can take of those germanium and silicon and all. Okay. So here some impurity is added, and as the result that impurity enhances the conductivity of this semiconductor. Okay. This we will be studying in detail, okay, after this. Now, insulators. When I am saying insulator, it means can't conduct the electricity. Okay. Its conductivity value is 10 to the power minus 20 ohm inverse 1 meter inverse 1 to 10 to the power minus 10 ohm inverse 1 meter inverse 1. Okay. Actually what happens here, conductivity is not possible. It's very difficult. Simple examples you can take of plastic wood, but you can take of the non-metals also, like carbon. Carbon can conduct electricity. It can't conduct, but yes, there is an exception of what? Carbon in graphite form can conduct the electricity, because in its structures the electrons are arranged in that manner in case of graphite that some electrons becomes free, and as the result it can conduct electricity. Otherwise, other we can see that they can't conduct electricity, and those are known as what? Insulators. So now let us study about the conductors, the insulator and semiconductor with the help of the valence band. Okay, so what is this valence band? This valence band, in this you can see the valence electrons are present. Okay, but above it, what happens here, the molecular orbitals had been formed. As the result, what happens when the molecular orbitals are formed in case of the conductors, or you can say the metals, their energy becomes very, very low. And if energy is very, very low, what happens? It is stable in nature. Naturally, it will come near the valence band. Okay, this conduction band will come near the valence band. Okay, and as the result, when this conduction band where no valence electrons were present, valence electrons are present in the valence band, conduction band, no valence electrons are present, and when it comes near, due to its low energy, what happens? The electrons from the valence band moves to the what? Conduction band, and as the result we will see that overlapping of these two takes place, these two orbitals, and as the result the electricity now will be conducted very easily in case of conductors. Okay, but when we are coming to what? The insulators, here you can see the conduction band and the valence band. Okay, you can see tremendous space is there. Okay, large space is there between them. You can see large energy gap, forbidden zone we say. Actually what happened here, the conduction band and this valence band is totally far apart. Okay, and as the result there is a large energy gap. Actually here in the molecular orbital of the case of the insulators, the energy is tremendous, it is too much. Okay, and as the result, what happens if energy is too much, not stable in nature, naturally there will be a forbidden zone between the valence band and the conduction band, and so it can't conduct electricity. Okay, coming to the semiconductors, you can see the gap here is small. Okay, between the conduction band and the valence band. Actually here in this case, what we can do, if we are applying some energy, the electrons from the valence band can move to the conduction band and can conduct the electricity. Here the energy of the molecular orbital is not as much as what the insulators. Okay, so now we are going to study about semiconductors. I said to you that it is of two types, intrinsic and extrinsic. Okay, intrinsic I said it is less efficient, extrinsic I said it is more efficient. Why? Because we are doping it with impurities. Okay, so when we are doping, okay, it is also done in two ways. Okay, so first is electron rich impurities, second is electron deficient impurities. Okay, we see in electron rich impurities it is doped with group 15 elements like phosphorus and arsenic. Semiconductors belong to which? Group 14. Okay, so now when it is doped with group 15 elements like phosphorus and arsenic, it is known as N-type semiconductor. Okay, so this is a simple structure which has been shown of group 14 element. Okay, you can take any. Okay, here you know if it is group 14, last will be 4 electrons. If it is group 15, last will be 15 electrons in the last valence shell. Naturally, what will happen? One electron will be free. Okay, and how does it conduct the electricity? Here positive plate, here negative plate. Naturally what will happen? Positive plate will attract this free electron. So it will not reach like this, that it is running here and coming to the positive plate. No. What will happen? It will jump. It will come here. Okay. And it will take this space and this will move forward. Okay. And again it will move forward. It will come here. Here this will occupy the space and then it will move. So it is not that it is coming in a one way long. Okay. It will jump. Okay. And what will happen? The electrons will be displaced. Okay. And as the result, electricity will be conducted in case of what? N-type semiconductors. Okay. Here mobile electrons are present. Free electrons are present. Okay. Now coming to electron deficient impurities. Okay. Here we are seeing what it is doped with group 13 element. Okay. Group 14 are the semiconductors doped with group 13. Naturally here 4 electrons in the last. Here 3 electrons. Again what will happen as the result? 1 electron is less. So what will happen? It will create a what? It will make a p-type semiconductor, creating a hole in the structure. Okay. Why this hole is present? Because 1 electron is less. If this hole is conducted, what happened again? Here positive and negative plates are there. This hole acts as positive holes only because here electrons are missing. Okay, naturally what will happen? Here positive plate, here negative plate. The other electrons will try to come to the positive plate now. Naturally what will happen? Suppose here the electrons are present. Here it will move to what? This positive hole. Naturally here now the hole will be created. Okay, and this is how it will go on moving and reach the positive plate, and as the result the efficiency of conduction of electricity increases. Okay, so this is all about the semiconductors which you have to study in chemistry, but yes, in physics you will study in more detail. By several combinations of NP, N or P, NP and all, number of applications are seen in case of semiconductors. Okay, some of the applications are of making of diode, making of transistors. Okay, now let us study about the magnetic properties. Okay, so magnetic properties, actually how does it come in case of these solids? Okay, here you can see what the electrons are moving around the nucleus. It is revolving around the nucleus. Okay, and it is also spinning, and these two properties gives it or makes it a tiny magnet. Okay, and this tiny magnet, if its magnetic moment is small. Okay, and that is known as what? Bohr magneton. Okay, it is represented as this mu. This is magnetic moment of what? Bohr, given by Bohr, is equal to, what is the value? 9.27 into 10 to the power minus 24 meter square. Okay, so this is all about the magnetic properties which you have to study in chemistry. Rest you will be studying in physics. Now coming to the magnetic properties, it is of 5 types. Okay, paramagnetism, diamagnetism and ferromagnetism. Okay, ferrimagnetism and antiferromagnetism. Okay, so first paramagnetism. Okay, here you will see what they are attracted towards the in the magnetic field when placed in the magnetic field. Okay, and if it is not placed, no, it will not. Okay, so what we will say, it is weakly attracted in the what? Magnetic field. Okay, here why does this show the property of magnetism? Actually they have got one or more unpaired electrons. Okay, and if these unpaired electrons are present, naturally they will behave like show the property of magnetism, and that is known as paramagnetism. Okay, and here one exception is there. We can say the exception of what? Oxygen molecule. Okay, here we can't see any unpaired electrons. Okay, but they show the property of paramagnetism. Other examples are also there, like Cu2 plus, Fe3 plus, Cr3 plus. Okay, now coming to diamagnetic. Okay, diamagnetism. Okay, when I say diamagnetism, it means they don't show the property of magnetism. Okay, actually they are weakly repelled by the magnetic field in the opposite direction. And why does this happen? Because here paired electrons are present, and if paired electrons are present, naturally it will not show the property of what? The magnetism. Okay, so here what happens? These paired electrons, they cancel the magnetic movement, and as the result they lose the character of that which I said to you of what? Revolving and spinning. Okay, and if it is lost, the magnetic properties are lost, and naturally they become now diamagnetic in nature. Example: water, H2O, NaCl. Okay, C6H6, that is benzene. Okay, now coming to ferromagnetism, this magnetism is very, very strong. Okay, they show very strong attraction. Okay, and here which we have seen in paramagnetism, they are temporary. Okay, but here they are what? Permanent. Okay, they show permanent magnetic properties, even though they are, if they are removed from the magnetic field, they show the magnetic properties. Okay, actually what happens in this, the metal ions forms a group forming what? Domain, and these domain acts as what? Tiny magnet. Okay, now we will be seeing it in detail. So these tiny magnets, okay, when these metal ions forms the group forming the domain, forms what? Tiny magnet. Okay, see, these tiny magnets are formed when it is placed in the magnetic field. Okay, the examples of this ferromagnetism are CrO2, that is what? Chromium oxide, iron, this CO. Okay, but what happens in this case of ferromagnetism? Okay, They are unmagnetized if they are not in the magnetic field. It is not placed at all in the magnetic field. They are unmagnetized, okay. And why they are unmagnetized? Because here you will see that here in the domains it is arranged in the in a random form. And if it is arranged in the random form, it will cancel each other and it will not act as magnet. But yes, once it is placed in the magnetic field, what happens? They get oriented in a specific direction on the magnetic field. Okay, you can see over here a specific direction, all upwards. These are what? Small domains, okay? And here you are seeing in this they are arranged in what? In a specific direction, okay? And as the result, if it is arranged in the specific direction, it is acting, it is having the property of magnetism. And yes, after removing it from the magnetic field also, these domains are still present in this in one specific direction, thereby making them having of what? The magnetic property. So this ferromagnetism, in this what happens, it is a permanently magnetized, as when placed in magnetic field, it gets magnetized, it gets attracted towards the magnetic field, and if it is removed also from there, okay, then also it has the magnetic properties. Okay. Now coming to antiferromagnetism. Example is MnO, that is manganese oxide. Okay. What happens in this case? Here also, they are smaller, they are here, these are arranged, okay, you can see over here. But the direction you see, one is down, one is up, okay. So here it is not, the orientation is not proper, okay. Here you can see the opposite orientations, what happens in this, it cancels each other. Suppose if one is here, what will happen? This will cancel its effect. Naturally, what will happen? Here, no magnetic property, okay. Now, coming to ferrimagnetism, okay, what is this? Here, the domain arrange themselves in, you can see what, parallelly, okay, in a parallel form, okay, in unequal numbers, okay. And if it is in unequal numbers, if it is in equal numbers, you can see over here it is strong. Here also it is there, but the number is not equal. Naturally, what will happen? They will be weakly attracted. Okay, example you can see Fe3O4, okay, you can see of what? Fe2O4, you can see of what? Mg Fe2O4, okay. But here, if I am saying that they are weakly attracted, okay, here on heating, what happens? These also behave as what? Paramagnets, this ferrimagnetism, okay. So, with this, we come to the end of the chapter solid state. Hope you might have understood it, okay. Good day, take care.